I'm all set whenever you are, sir. It's me.
I'm good. All right, we start. So like the formalities, I have to call the order, right?
Girls,
Yeah, that's like two different rules.
Those in here. You want a little summary?
Yes, please.
Okay, so this first one is, there's no, construction plan with this project. It's a subdivision, so they're taking lots and, dividing them. It's on Westlake Road. There's existing homes on 3 of the lots, I think, or at least 2. Yeah, and they're doing, a 3-lot subdivision, so they're dividing it into 3 lots and just kind of rearranging the existing lot a little bit. Again, they're not planning to build anything at this time. We have no site plan, so I don't know what, their future plans are. It's not currently farmed. I think it's being sent to the ag committee, most likely for proximity to someone in the ag district. And there's a map up behind you showing, oh, actually, the 1 lot is vacant, that's right.
I believe when we looked at it, ECB, one of our members had pulled up a different image. You could see that there was like hay or some other
Something going on.
ag field to the north.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sorry, and I misspoke, there's not a house on the largest lot,
So that's basically just.
it's vacant. Right now.
What's the access to the larger lot?
So do you see up on the top right of the map, there's showing a potential driveway location. That doesn't go to anything. They're not proposing to put that driveway in right now, but I think it says proposed or something. And the reason they're doing that is, or they're showing that is sometimes when there's a subdivision, and it's unsure how someone would be able to access that lot if they wanted to build a house, like on this one, the southern portion of that vacant parcel, it kind of comes around like a U, is kind of steep. So I think they're showing on the north end just to show there's a possibility of a safe driveway entrance in the future if someone wanted to build a home on that site. The application has been tabled for a month by the applicant. They're gonna rework it a little bit, so this won't be the final proposed subdivision. Oh, Kim, I think Tim has re-entered. They're not planning on changing it drastically. It's just that with what they were proposing, they were gonna need a couple of variances and they're trying to rework it so that they don't need any, or so that they need less. So they might, I think lot 1 is just under an acre, and in that part of the town, you need to have at least 1 acre. So they were up against a variance request for that one, so I think they're gonna try and rework the lines a little bit to make lot 1 larger. But that's about it for that one.
So with the possibility of it coming back to us,
It might, I mean, the changes they're proposing is not going to mean that they're starting over.
Okay.
So this may be your only time to review the actual subdivision. If they ever came back to the town and they wanted to build a home or do some other proposed structure on the lot, you would likely see it again, and the same triggers would send it. But no, you may not see it again for this project. It would just be if they changed it so that it wouldn't need any variances. It's just a delay to the zoning board, and then once they get through the zoning board, if they get through the zoning board, they go to the planning board for approval. So we wouldn't send it back here again.
So I think motion, there's no effect on farmland.
I support that motion. All there,
Aye.
all opposed.
Oh, it's all good. Or.
So this project is. On County Road 16, it's not on the lake side, it's on the uphill side. There was a subdivision done few years ago, maybe, with, I think, 4 building lots. And I don't remember which number lot this is, but I think it's the 3rd one that's being built. Does that sound right to you? They've already built a couple other ones, so they're just coming in to build another house on some lots that came in previously, or lots that were, excuse me, subdivided previously. Huh. That one looks funny.
This is the one we reviewed last time,
Yeah,
and then this is the one.
and then I think there's already one over on the right too.
Is that like up where like the Jesus statue is?
I think so. Kim, can you scroll so we can see that location at the top of the page? A bit of a delay.
It's all or nothing.
There we go. So it looks like it's just south of, does it say Foster Road? I think
Yeah.
that's Foster Road.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I know where it is, yeah. I,
Again, this is probably triggered to come to here because it's proximity to somebody in an ag district.
Just out of curiosity, so. These lots so since they were already subdivided, so. What's that area being used for right now? Just nothing,
influence
just,
trees and bacon stuff.
well, is it scrub brush and young trees, or is it actual woodland?
Like scrub brush.
Okay, scrub brush and stuff.
We can look at Encore if you want.
That might be easy to
Sure.
make it a little easier to visualize it.
In fact, that's probably a good thing to do probably for all the referrals is. Just have like a Google map or an Encore view of it, just kind of helps. Paint the picture.
Visual of it.
Cause if I'm not mistaken, doesn't it have to go through? Let's say somebody wanted to clear woods to build a building or a house, doesn't it have to go through another board?
So anyone who wants to build a house in the town, they have to go to the planning board. And then part of that process is outside referrals. We call them outside because it's everybody who isn't the planning board. So you folks get it. The Environmental Conservation Board takes a look at it. And sometimes other agencies look at it too. Like the Watershed Council, we sent this to them too because it's steep. It's near the lake. So yeah, so all new home builds will go to the planning board. If someone were to just start clearing a lot, there are thresholds, of course, not ag. Ag can clear whatever they want. But if someone wants to just clear a lot for whatever, say they wanted to just cut the trees down and sell them, or they just want to cut the trees down or something like that. There's a threshold for properties that are zoned RLD, Residential Lake District. The area that would create the need for them to get a permit in order to do that clearing is a lot smaller than outside of the Lake District. It's 10,000 square feet outside of the Lake District, I think. If you want to clear more than that, you need to come in and get a permit, because the larger the area that you clear, the more likely you are to cause erosion. And so it doesn't mean they can't do it. They just need to do it properly. Closer to the lake, I think it's 1,000 square feet. If you want to clear land more than that, you need to get a permit to do it near the lake. Just because there's more erosion protection methods that they're going to have to use, sometimes silt fences, things like that. They just need to be more careful. Again, not that they can't do it, they just need to come and talk to the town first.
Interesting.
I know we
So
usually,
Ononda,
I'm sorry,
where is Ononda?
south of this parcel,
Okay. Where's Weifels Road?
um. I can't remember, sorry, I should know that, that's terrible that I don't. We'd have to zoom out.
Or zoom in.
So I think Weifels is north,
Yeah, it's north.
Yeah, I think you're right.
there's Foster. Tim, can you see the screen?
Yes,
Okay, good.
okay, I got you.
So it's just south of Foster Road. I know you were changing your connection to Zoom, but I don't know if you heard, this is one of four. This is a new home build on a 4-lot subdivision. I think this is the third out of 4 homes on that subdivision being built.
So-
Another one just came through about a month or so ago.
Is this a formality then?
Yeah, I think so, because, I mean, as you can see on the screen, there's farming nearby, so I think it triggered the referral to you guys because of that.
I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would propose that this is not a loss of farmland.
Sit with that.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
All opposed? Okay,
and just to be official, I voted aye on the last one as well.
Okay, thank you. I don't think we heard that, so. thanks.
Yeah, I was in the process of changing.
well, just that's a comment quick, so. In the area, there's no maple farm or anything. Okay, let's see. Wanted to just double check quick, because
Just so you know, I mean, you could take a look at what the soil content is there, but a lot of this soil content this close to the lake is, very shallow shale. And it's, even though you see a lot of farmland there, it's typically not very good farmland. I think historically there have been orchards down through this area. Orchards and vineyards.
Yeah,
anyways, just a comment, but before I forget, I would say that. Well, theoretically speaking, if somebody wanted to build a building, or a house on land where there's, maple trees, I remember we've talked about. There's one maple farm at that part of town we've talked about before. If somebody wanted to do that, maple farm is technically agriculture, and everybody usually forgets that agroforestry is a part of agriculture. So in a way that you could say that that's, farmland. So if somebody wanted to clear maple trees, that would be a loss of an agricultural product, I would say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
or if they were never tapping on it, it could be a loss of potential.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Potential products.
There are some people doing maple in the town. Not a lot, but I do know of at least one. And I know that gentleman leases land from other people who've got woods nearby. And I think he has his own Rocky Ridge maple. on
Yes.
21.
Yes, that's what we've mentioned before, yes.
Mhm. I don't know if there's others.
But he's the only one to my recollection.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Pretty sure New York State's like number 2 or number 3 in maple syrup production. I think Vermont's number 1. It's pretty neat. Maple syrup.
Mhm.
Anyways, I just wanted to go
No, it's
over
a good
that,
point.
but before I forgot.
Yeah, Ag and Markets considers that farming, and then even timber harvesting is related, although they think of it differently because it's not food. But
right, but still a product you're harvesting from the
Mhm.
land,
Yep,
so.
and then Christmas tree farms get their own separate category. Interesting.
Okay. Moving on. So it looks like, new business, so Tim was, he talked to me after. The meeting last week or last month. About possibly moving the time to an hour later, just so that would be. Easier for him to. Attend because of. Planting and such. right?
Yeah, I thought about that, so. I can tell you this, so for our Farm Bureau meetings, this time of year. We usually have them at 7:30, like we move them from our winter time. To 7:30, and it's usually easy for the farm folk to, show up at a later hour, but however. If, If, say, that hour is better for me, but what is it for everybody else, though? Is it more challenging for everybody else to show up? You know,
The
'cause-
other option could be this time of year too, especially if there's only just some referrals that we just do, virtual. So it's easier for everybody.
Can you
Because
do,
Zoom only.
can you do Zoom when you're out?
See, that's where I come back to thinking about is there a point in changing the hour? Because on a day where, we're really busy on the farm, doesn't matter if it's at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, I'm probably gonna miss it anyway. So then it might as well just be at an earlier time to be easier on everybody else. That's kind of a shot in the dark in a way. I don't know what's better.
Well,
Yeah, we've talked about before too, this maybe sometimes depending on the urgency of the referrals, you could skip a month or something too.
That's a good idea.
Not extra stuff that we need to go over.
Yeah, and I mean, Kim and I can help with that too, like, I mean. Every referral deserves its time, right? But as we know, we've been doing this for years now, especially you and Tim. There's some that are gonna, have a bigger potential to impact agriculture than others. Like these two are examples of, I felt pretty confident I knew what you guys were gonna say about it. Not that we wouldn't send it, but if the meeting was canceled or postponed. We can include that in the notes to the planning board, and I could certainly let you know, hey, this one's really important, we want your feedback.
Prioritize.
And I have heard from the planning board does like to see our feedback, so I don't, but if we got in the habit of skipping too many, that might not be a good thing to
Yeah.
do.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
So you-
definitely case by case
You
basis.
would kind of re-sort them a little bit for us, I guess,
Mhm.
kind of.
Yeah,
Idea.
every month we review the new applications at our planning review committee meeting. Like we have one, we just had one on the 17th. And when we go through the referrals, Kim and I it's always, okay, we'll have to check this one to see if it goes to ag, or there's somewhere like, oh yeah, this is going to ag. So it's usually ahead of time we know. And for some like these, yeah, the property itself wasn't the trigger, it was just near somebody else who either was actively farming or in the ag district or both. Because the triggers are, if it's within 500 feet of a farming operation or a property that's in the ag district, or it is itself in the ag district, or it is being farmed. So it's just either if it's nearby and it can be any combination of those things.
Maybe, Sarah, at this time of year, there could be some type of threshold that would require us to, comment. But if it's just a procedural type of thing, and if it's within the rules, maybe just a note from us back to you in an advisory fashion might, solve the issue that, we need to consider, because an ag committee without farmers is not as valuable. It's, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, do we actually need to vote on all of them, or could we even just comment back? Is that kind of what you're saying, Tim, like, reply back through an email with comments? That could be
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, maybe we could put a new rule in place, form a new rule in which a threshold is reached that requires us to participate. Otherwise, if it's just procedural, like it falls within 500 feet of farmland, then perhaps that's not as critical as, somebody trying to develop 100 acres of land that's in production.
If this stuff was sent out ahead of time, or we can access it through cloud permit, right?
Yep, you all have accounts set up,
So we could. Everybody could be expected to review it and comment on it, and that would save quite a lot of time.
So. Here's just one, like to kind of piggyback what was kind of already mentioned. So let's say we have a ton of referrals that are gonna be big. And let's say, we're quite busy. And so maybe during that situation, we move a meeting to a later hour. So that more of us can show up, like Bob and myself can just make arrangements to just show up at a later hour.
So like. What's 7?
Would 7 be doable for you guys, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. A night meeting is a night meeting, whether it's a 6 or
Right.
7,
Right,
now in the middle of winter. So
Yeah.
it's fun to meet later.
We don't need to do that.
yeah, I
Well,
understand.
you mentioned your farm bureau meeting.
Yeah.
Have seasonal time
Yep.
changes,
Yep.
and this is up to you as committee members. You could consider doing that. Meet later during this, spring, summer and fall, and meet earlier in the winter. I can look up to just doing Zoom only meetings. I just have to make sure that we don't have any rules that would preclude you from being able to vote on a Zoom only meeting. I think those rules are more for like the town board and the planning board. I think because you're an advisory board, those rules are more relaxed. So I think you can do that. I think that would be allowed. I should just check. I have a note to ask that. Cause I know you can have Zoom only meetings. I just wanna make sure that voting in a Zoom only meeting is allowed, but, and we did it for how long? A year or more?
Yeah, probably longer during COVID.
Yeah. I did a lot of ag meetings in my basement.
Ah.
Or-
So I mean, yeah, you've got options, going back to the referral triggers, we have a list of criteria. That is how we figure out which projects come before you guys. That maybe, like you said, Tim. Maybe the ones that are triggered by their proximity to agriculture. Could be those meetings where maybe you review them via email and send comments to Sam. And she sends them to me, or you do a reply all or something, and Kim and I can work on just gathering them, whatever. We should decide doing it one way or another. I don't mind if we have it all come to me or Kim, and then, that might be okay, because like you said, Tim, those are less likely to have any real impact. The ones that are just next to a farm or, or nearby. And then the projects that are actually being proposed on farmland.
Yeah, a good example was, when all of the solar panel builders came to town and they wanted to build it all on flat farmland. And that really needed our focus and concentration to be able to go ahead and go through each of the steps to show and advise that this was a loss of valuable farmland. As opposed to, somebody wants to build a house on 1 acre on a development that's already in process. Yeah, that makes sense to me, Sarah. Absolutely.
Then again, I think to myself, or is it just plain easier just to stick to a solid time frame? Just say summer hours are now at, 7. And we all just adjust to it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Works.
And then,
I think it's some of both maybe, because if they are just simple ones, then there's real, and we don't have other stuff, it just saves time.
See if
Mhm.
you can.
To get it done. Without even having to come here. We can do this, it would be fine too to have a later time when we really do need to go over stuff.
I like both,
A blend.
yeah, if we really do need to come in person, we'll come in at 7, and then if it's just like a low priority, just touching on the proximities and such, then just a reply all would be fine.
And I imagine we could set it up so that if there was some structure to it, here's your referrals. Maybe we had 2 groups, high priority, low priority, or whatever, and if it's a low priority group. Or if it falls in the low priority group, we could say, here's your referrals. Don't need to meet in person and vote on these, but please provide your comments to Sarah or Kim by this date in order to be considered, and then I can compile them, or Kim and I together, we can compile them and get them to the planning board. I just need to check, since this ag committee is in our town code, how it works, all the rules about how many people you have and all that's written in town code. I gotta go through it and see if there's anything in there that would make this not allowed. Cause I don't want, anything to be invalidated just because we forgot a rule or something. But let me check into that. Let me also double check on if we held a meeting via Zoom and you did vote, if that's also allowed. Cause I have a feeling that all of these options would be okay. You guys just would need to kind of decide. What you wanna do, and then we can work out how that works.
Probably we need to tell somebody, within the town management structure what we're doing as well.
Yeah, so once I check to see what you can and can't do with all of this. Then because the committee is advertised in January for the entire year, any changes to your schedule have to be advertised the same way. So we don't advertise this meeting with a public notice every month, because in January we said the ag committee is gonna meet on the 2nd Thursday of every month at this time in this place. So like when it was, when we postponed last week, Kim sent out the notice. We let everybody know, hey, the meeting that was gonna be tonight is now next week. So if we change anything, we'll send out another notice.
Okay.
We just kind of have to figure out how that will work month to month. It's not a big deal to send it
Mhm.
out every month. We just need to kind of figure it out. Might take a little while to understand what we can do and what we can't do, and then plan how you want to handle it.
I'm fine with not like making a definite decision tonight and waiting until we hear back.
I can send you guys all an email with what I find out.
High priority nights. I'd like to be in person.
Yeah, and then that list of criteria was not in town code. Those of you who've been around a while will remember, we came up with it a long time ago, and then we revisited it several years ago, I think, and that started sending more applications to you guys. So you can change it. That's all I'm saying. It's up to you guys.
Okay, are we done discussing this point?
I think so.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, let's move on.
What is it?
Whatever you want. That was the only agenda item that you.
Okay, yeah.
gave me,
Um,
So,
I know we're still the 28th is when we'll get the brochures. Do you want me to come here to pick them up? when you guys get them. That way they're at, that way. For the parade.
Yeah, we'll let you know when they come in. I can see if we have an update on when she thinks she'll have them done.
And then I have the flyer already made and I sent like a group text to everybody and they all seem to like it, so I can send that to you, Kim.
Sounds good. I will put it in the upcoming newsletter.
Okay.
So that deadline is this Friday, so if you could. Get it
Do
to
it when I
me.
get home.
Sounds good.
I have an update for you.
Okay.
You guys, I think you all remember the ordinance committee was talking about the farm labor housing law. That has been added to the town board agenda for the meeting on Monday. So they decide if they want to set a public hearing for that, which means anytime the town board wants to change the town laws, they have to have a public hearing, so the public gets to weigh in. And they have to set that public hearing at a town board meeting, so they're going to likely set the public hearing at their meeting Monday for the meeting in July on July 22nd, so tentatively, July 22nd is when they will be considering to adopt that law, the one they went through at the last ordinance committee meeting, and the law basically cleans up our town code, so it matches what ag and markets laws are for farm labor housing. So it's gonna take all the stuff out that talks about all the special use permits and everything like that and just remove that completely. And then clarify a couple other points in the law and make it so that the zoning districts that already allow agricultural use will also allow farm labor housing. So I know you guys have seen it come through a few times, but I figured you'd probably want to know.
Very good.
So this Monday, there's really no real reason to go to the town board meeting.
If you want to, I mean,
They're
it's
really-
in the agenda, so there may be interested people who want to speak on it. That there is a resolution the town board will take action on, but that just sets the public hearing. The public hearing itself won't be Monday, but it doesn't mean people can't come and make comments or ask questions. It's not a back and forth question and answer session, but people can still come and make a comment if they want to. I mean, I don't know if anybody will, but certainly can.
There's a couple other public hearings at this town board meeting, right, on Monday?
I think so. Yeah, I can't remember.
What do they do to set aside a certain portion of time?
Yeah, so when there is a public hearing, usually that's first before they go through the list of resolutions and take action on their business that night. So they'll usually do the public hearings in the very beginning. So they'll open the public hearing, so people who want to talk about that can come up and talk. Just like they do with privilege of the floor. They can come up and talk. It'll go into the record for that public hearing. And then they close it, or they leave it open. Sometimes they leave things open if there was a lot of questions or they want more information or something. I can't remember what the public hearings are for Monday. There's 2. I think.
The public hearing, you just gonna get up and comment, split for us, same amount of time as. the privilege of the
Probably,
floor.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think there's still a limit. People can come outside of the public hearing to make comments too, because there's always an open privilege of the floor, at least 2 or 3 during every town board meeting. So,
I don't have anything else to add. Do you?
Well, 4th of July parade's coming up. Town of Canandaigua is gonna have a couple things in it, so. Slated to be in it with the M. Hope to see lots of town people in attendance, and hopefully maybe we'll see some of you guys.
I will be out of town, but
Darn.
I am every year on the
Possibly
4th.
be out of town.
I'm always gone.
I'll walk it with you.
Do you guys want the old farm friendly community signs?
That would be
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
We still have the same ones we made. How many years ago was it?
And
Oh, it was like,
we should
yeah.
probably display those more often.
yeah, 2018, I wanna say. It was around the same time the highway building went in. Anyway, they're still in the storage room over there.
Sure.
So
Can
we'll
we,
take them.
we can include them. Sure,
Tractor or something.
yeah. You can let Dennis know.
Yeah, they're big, they're laminated, so I don't know if they're still attached to the stakes.
We have metal ones too, metal signs.
Yeah, those aren't in there.
They're
Just-
posted.
Yeah, those are the ones on all the,
Those are what I thought.
Yep, so
Wasn't there metal ones that we hung off the buildings at the fair or is it?
I think those were the foam ones that were laminated. Well, not foam, I don't know, they're plastic.
I remember Dad was a big part in getting the ones posted around town.
Mhm.
And then I remember,
That was a fun project.
yeah. And I remember one year in the parade, there was people with those signs
Mhm.
on sticks, yep. And sticks.
Those are the ones I'm talking about. Yeah, we still have all of them.
Have them
Like
again.
I said, I don't know if they're still on the sticks, but we still have the signs.
Okay, good to know. All right.
So. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay.
Very good.
Good job.
That's efficient.
Have a nice night, everybody.
See you later.
Thanks, Tim.
Bye.
So I will look into that stuff and I'll